And hi, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the Weekend Kickoff Show. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Pam.
Pam, you're looking effervescent today.
Thank you, sir. So are you. Very colorful.
Well, thank you. I just obtained this brand new Panama Tiki shirt.
Very, very appropriate.
From my good friend, Daniel Gallagher. Thank you, Daniel. Shout out. The Weekend Kickoff Show is brought to you by Big Daddy's.
Big Daddy. Boom, boom.
Not only are they the home of Boom Boom Everything Great and delightful margaritas.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They've got shrimp and lobster deals happening this week.
Ooh.
Yeah. Incredible amounts of delicious shrimp and lobster. And they're also going to be having, keep your eyes out for this, kids, and your ears, fundraisers for Dog Camp.
Excellent.
Dog Camp does a wonderful job here of helping people, helping rehome, helping get feral dogs off the streets.
Medical care.
And, you know, if you want to get a getaway weekend and you don't want to take the dogs, leave them at Dog Camp.
Yeah.
Let's see. Big announcement.
Yes.
Okay, coming soon, ladies and gentlemen. Christopher's American Bistro. Yeah, a brand new restaurant in town.
Really?
Yeah, I was thinking this town needs another restaurant.
Yeah, he does.
But this one, this is going to be a little bit upscale.
Okay.
Almost like a white tablecloth.
Wow.
They would call it in the industry. But it's casual. Polished casual.
Polished casual.
Yeah, it's going to feature American cuisine.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be located right across the street from Donde Giselle and the brewery.
Oh, do we know when that's opening?
In Restaurant Row. Soon. All right. We don't have an exact date.
Okay.
So, we're just kind of teasing you with this.
So what's the dress code for posh casual?
It's wear nice cutoff shorts.
Yeah.
And your best flip-flops.
Okay, and your tuxedo T-shirt.
And your tuxedo T-shirt, definitely.
Okay, got it.
It's not that snobby attire thing where they require a jacket and a tie.
Ah, good.
I suspect if they did that, no one would come because
they don't own them.
Nobody has those anymore. Yes, we got rid of our jackets and ties when we cast off the shackles of the working world. And let's see, a couple other things. Quick announcement. Chris calls me up. He says, "Hey, talk about this and that and this and that." And 2 hours later, I have to whittle it down.
No, I'm
kidding.
Inclusion?
Yes, Inclusion Boquete. That organization trains people with special needs and also Down syndrome, and trains them to work. Job gives them focus. Trains them to possibly work in the restaurant industry. I know Chris has some folks from that at Big Daddy's.
Yeah.
And they need help. Inclusion has grown quite a bit.
Okay.
And they need people to help train these young people.
Okay.
And not everybody can have a job, can become employable.
Okay.
But it does give all of them a focus and something to do with their time other than,
So it doesn't necessarily have to be restaurant. It can be any
Right.
retail or...
Right. It could be any kind of service industry that, and I don't really know all the parameters,
Okay.
but I do understand that they give the kids a focus, tasks, and train them in, a variety of different operations.
Wow. So who would they contact if they were interested in doing that?
Well, contact Chris Young. You can reach him. He's on the all the social medias. You can find him at Big Daddy's a lot of the time. You can also ask the fine people at Tap Out.
Okay.
They'll let you know how to get a hold of him.
Okay.
And or the pharmacy.
The pharmacy.
Yes.
That's right, the pharmacia.
The pharmacia, see. And and very soon, more of that amazing olive-fed Wagyu beef. Did I say that right?
I think
Wagyu?
that's correct, yes. I know it's olive-fed.
Olive-fed. That's amazing.
That is.
So it probably tastes a little like a martini.
I was going to say, it must be the martini of beef.
Sounds like a perfect pair.
We need something we need to know a little bit more about that. I think we need samples.
I think we need samples, Chris. I hope you're listening, buddy. We'll need you to bring samples of Wagyu beef right down here so we can enjoy it.
Yeah, maybe a little lobster and shrimp to go with that.
Oh, that'd be nice. A little surf and turf
Yeah.
sample. There you go. All right, Chris, you got your marching orders, buddy. And that's, I think that's about it for the important announcements.
Okay. Great. So did you miss me?
I did miss you.
Thank you.
Yes, quite a bit. I had a guest host lined up, but guess what? He got sick at the last moment.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, so then I got another guest host.
Thank goodness.
And good old Michael Halpern stepped in, and
Great.
he's fabulous as always. And but yes, of course, we missed you quite a bit.
Well, thank you.
You handle everything here just perfectly, especially the guests. You'd be a guest wrangler.
I had a guest wrangler.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, Wisconsin was hot.
Hot?
Hot.
Oh,
I was
my.
very happy to come home. It's much cooler here.
Yeah.
Believe it
yeah.
or not.
Oh, I do believe it. I do
Yeah.
believe. And I'll bet it was also very humid.
No.
No?
No.
No.
It wasn't humid. It was just hot.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Okay. Unless I'm just used to humidity. I don't know.
Well, maybe so, but yeah, I'm used to. I think of Wisconsin, Illinois in the summertime as being like saunas.
Well, that part of Wisconsin is really far north.
Okay.
So maybe they don't get as much humidity, but it's
Yeah.
surprising how hot it is.
Yeah.
And we went to a farmer's market one day, and the farmers were complaining about how dry it's been.
Oh wow.
So it's
no
been an
rain.
unusual
Yeah.
summer for them.
It's been weird and wild all over the world.
Yeah.
They had that massive fire on Maui.
Oh, that's horrible.
That was tragic.
Yes.
That cute, great little town of Lahaina, I guess the whole thing is just ashes
Gone.
now.
Gone.
That was our first time going to Hawaii. That's where we went. And
Oh.
it was so cool and amazing. Good vibes for everybody on Maui.
Yes.
And everybody else in the heat or the rain. It's like either
Or.
crazy heat or crazy rain.
Mm-hmm.
I know in Los Angeles they've been going through heat wave after heat wave
I
after
know
heat
it's
wave.
unrelenting.
And this week, just a quick check, the weather's going to be like in the upper 90s there again,
Wow.
all week long.
Wow.
Yeah, it didn't used to be that way, But hey, that's enough gloom and doom.
Yes, let's talk about something
Other
happy.
than the heat, though, Wisconsin was fun.
Wisconsin was fun. I
Yeah.
had a great visit with my son. They played a little bit of tourist, so we went through Wisconsin Dells, and so I didn't do it, but I saw zip lining.
Oh, good. That's my favorite way to do zip lining.
Yes,
Just look
just
at it. from
Look
the
at it.
ground.
Look at those people going by.
Mm.
But it was really nice. He took me to his favorite fishing place. And,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you fished?
No.
Oh.
I didn't have a license.
It's one of those kind
Yeah.
of deals. Okay.
But I watched him fish,
Oh,
and
yeah?
he caught a couple fish, and so we had a little fish fry. It was
Oh,
nice.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, fresh fish. Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
But I'm back, and I'm happy to be back. Nice,
yeah.
comfortable weather. And
Perfect.
all my buddies.
Wonderful out. Yes. Well, I didn't have quite as fun of a week, probably.
what did you do this week?
I guess the term is run around, put out fires, try to keep people on an even keel.
Yeah.
We're, your listeners may or may not know, we're involved with this little thing called the BCP Theater. And we're putting together productions, and it's coming together nicely.
Mm-hmm, it is.
And I got to say, we started taking credit cards this year, so you can buy your tickets with your credit card or your Clave debit card.
Wow. And you started that Tuesday?
Started Tuesday.
And how did it go?
It went amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we racked up about $1,400 in sales.
That's exciting.
Our first day of doing that.
Wow.
Yeah. And that also includes some membership renewals,
Right.
et cetera. So if you're not already a member of the BCP, get on down to the Tuesday market.
Definitely.
Or you can go online and join BaqueteTheater.com. And you get discounts is what you get. One of the
okay.
huge things. Members had first crack at buying tickets last week.
Okay.
And we have members-only deals. Like if you buy season tickets, for a single ticket, I think it's $18.
Okay.
But if you buy a season
Yes.
of a package of 3, 4, or 5 shows, your price goes down and down and down until I think it's about $13 a show.
That's a deal.
It is. It is a great deal. And we also could use maybe 1 or 2 more actors, if any of you are into performing out there.
Yes.
We need a person, a slightly younger individual, to play a role that's may be opening up here in about 10 minutes. So give me a shout. You know, I'm all over the interwebs and stuff.
Yes,
you can
you
find me. And or right here on our Facebook Weekend Kickoff page.
Or the BCP page.
Or the BCP volunteer page.
Yes.
Yeah. Eventsbouquet.org/volunteers. Or I believe it's, for a minute it's redundant. I'm not sure if it's all switched over to bouquettheater.com yet or not. But one of those places you'll find.
That's something that has happened since I've been gone.
Yes,
Bouquet, because I saw something in my email about that. But
it's
I
in
never read it.
it's in the process.
Okay.
The great Phil Bennett is making all of that
thank
happen.
goodness for Phil.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So that's what I've been up to pretty much.
Same old, same old.
Yeah, yes. But it's coming along nicely. We are going to have an opening gala on the 2nd of September.
Oh, wow, that's right.
It'll be a fabulous party, and your admission fee gets you delicious snacks and a variety of entertainment, quite possibly a DJ with music, and some samples from some of the shows coming up this year.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Well,
Where's that going to be held?
that's going to be held at the tent at the Rock.
Yay.
The same place all the shows are going to be held.
Great.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's kind of going on. Other than that, yeah, I got nothing to do.
Yeah, same old, retirement. Just take it easy. Sit
Yeah,
back,
just
relax.
sit on the porch and wonder where your brain went. Well, you know what? We have a delightful guest
We
today.
do.
Yeah, one guest in the studio today.
Wow.
Yeah, and she works at is it the Pharmacia?
Pharmacia?
The Farmacia.
The Pharmacia. And it's Larissa Castillo, yes?
Castillo, yes.
Castillo. Hi,
Welcome.
Larissa.
Hi. Thank
Welcome.
you for having me.
How
Thank
are you
for
today?
coming.
I'm good. I'm kind of nervous, but
Oh,
don't
yeah.
be nervous.
you guys make me feel really relaxed.
We put her to sleep. Is what
Yeah. Not at all. Yeah.
No, it gets easier. I was
Yeah.
nervous the first 40 times I did it. And after that, nothing to it. So, tell us a little about bit
yourself.
about yourself, Larissa.
Well, my name is Larissa. I'm from here. I'm from Chiriquí. I'm from Dolega.
Okay.
I went to college for pharmacy, and I graduated on 2022. And I am the region pharmacist of the Farmacia.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. So basically, we help people. We dispense medications. We do pharmaceutical care. Basically, that's it. I love my career. I love helping people.
Okay.
And we're constantly, getting, education and researching and stuff. And we want to provide care that other pharmacies won't give. Sometimes the experience is you just come into the pharmacy and you give a prescription and then they sell it to you and then you're good to go. But you never actually have an interaction with the pharmacist.
Right.
Where they're actually there to provide advice, pharmaceutical advice, in the intake scheduling, or whether you should take it with food or not, what you could expect from your medication. So that's
Right.
basically what we want to do different.
Right. It is important, to talk to an actual pharmacist from time to time. And so much of the time, like you said, you only deal with the pharmacist assistants, I have had experiences where the actual pharmacist probably saved my life. Sometimes you get prescriptions from different doctors, right, for different things, and you bring them in, the pharmacist will look at that and go, oh, no, you can't take these two things together. This could put you in a coma or something.
Yeah.
Do you encounter that from time to time here?
Well, yes. Sometimes, it's hard for one doctor to have communication with another, and sometimes the patients feel too intimidated to actually ask the doctor questions.
Right.
And sometimes they feel a lot more chill with talking to us. They feel a lot more closer to us. They don't feel as much intimidation. So it keeps us closer to the patient, so we're able to intervene in that sense. They actually open up to us and tell us, I'm taking this and this and this, and then we're actually able to do an intervention and sometimes they don't have that experience with a doctor because of that same intimidation. So it's good to help.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
good to
Yeah.
help.
One of the things I noticed, because I've been to the pharmacia, as you say, there was a prescription that I get often for allergies, for nasal allergies and things.
Yeah.
And you guys sell it over the counter. I didn't, it was right there. I didn't
Yeah.
need, which I thought was nice. So you have a lot of things that other places you have to ask the pharmacy assistant for, and they have to find it for you. Where yours, you have a lot of things that are just right out on the counter, and it's self-serve.
Yeah, sometimes it's about preventing stealing,
Mm-hmm.
but when you place a, we call it OTC, over the counter, when you place an OTC outside, well, by the law, only OTCs can be outside of the counter.
Mm-hmm.
You just look at the label.
Mhm.
If it says venta libre or over the counter, you can put it outside. It's no
Okay.
problem.
Okay.
So some people don't do that because, for example, Benadryl, let's say Benadryl,
Mm-hmm.
it's a pretty sought after medication, so there could be a chance that people steal it, so they keep it inside.
Oh wow.
Oh.
So it's a bunch of things that determine the decision, but
But your place
ultimately,
is so little.
Yeah.
I mean, the actual pharmacy, and you have to press a buzzer to be let in.
Oh, yeah, it's
So
very safe,
It's
yes.
very controlled.
yeah, it's very safe. And also, recently, there was a bunch of some robberies in Alto Boquete. Did
Oh
you
really?
did
I
you
did
hear
not
about
know
that?
that.
Yeah, so we actually installed a little window.
Uh huh.
So now at night, because we open until 9, which is pretty late.
That is
that
late.
is late.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have pretty late hours. So we keep the small window, everything's shut, everything's pretty safe.
Okay.
Try to have a safe experience with our clients.
Oh yeah. Well, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Great. No, I
So
didn't.
how long did you have to go to school to become a pharmacist?
5 to 6 years. Of actual classes, it's about 5 years. And then you have to do your graduation work, which
Your
would be
internship?
Yeah, kind of like
Mhm.
you do either internship or you do kind of like a research project, which is kind of like a thesis.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I did thesis, and it took me about a year to finish. So it was
Okay.
about 6 years.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's almost like regular medical school.
Yeah,
Wow.
we go for long years to, and the college here in Panama is pretty different from the U.S. I actually had an experience in the U.S. I went to a clinical trial center in Lake Nona in Orlando for
Okay.
3 months.
Okay.
And just as an observer, I kind of sticked into the pharmacist to see what she does.
Uh-huh.
It was such an amazing experience to see what a pharmacist in the U.S. is.
How is it different?
Because they are actual doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are, we're pharmacists, but we don't actually have the, how would you say that? English is not my native language, so obviously I'm going to have a little bit of problem.
That's okay. You're fine.
It's kind
It's
of,
kind of like you can't diagnose.
we don't have the doctor prefix. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They are actually PharmDs.
Oh, okay.
So that's really interesting. And they actually do residency programs too, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I really like that. It was really cool I wish here in Panama we would get to that point where we would have to do, 2-year internships and residencies, and, we would be a lot more specialized.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
Wow, that is awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So much has changed. My father-in-law, who would be in his hundreds if he was alive today, you have to understand that. He was a pharmacist. He had a pharmacy in Chicago, and he only went to school for 2 years.
Oh.
That was it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was all that was required back then.
Okay.
So it's
Wow.
come a long way.
Yeah.
Of course,
Definitely.
medications have come a long way too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the extra time that it takes to become a pharmacist now.
Yeah, I do too.
Because you're going to the effort, you're going to the work of learning everything that's possible to learn about your profession. And I would much rather trust a professional like yourself than dial up a YouTube video. Oh, wait, no, I could. You're smart. I could find out just from YouTube.
Yeah. Fun fact, also here in Panama, this profession has come a long way too, because before you could be a pharmacy tech if you worked about a year in a pharmacy, and then an actual pharmacist could sign off that you are actually capable of being a pharmacy tech. You wouldn't even have to go to school.
Wow.
Oh,
But
wow.
that was actually abolished, and now you have to do about a 3-year program to be an actual pharmacy tech, and you have to take a nationwide, kind of like a countrywide test
Mm-hmm.
that will give you your actual license to practice.
Oh, wow.
okay.
Cool.
And that test, they do it about 2 to 3 times a year, and
Yeah.
you would have to go all the way to Panama City
Mhm.
and do the test.
Right.
And that's how we get our licenses. If we
Oh.
don't pass, then we can't get the license yet.
Oh.
That's good.
That
It's
is
very
good.
good.
That's
Absolutely.
great.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do something to, make sure that the people you're dealing with are trained professionals and
Mm-hmm.
not just, teenagers who they got to get to
read.
McDonald's. I must say, I wouldn't know it to listen to you that English is not your first language. Did you live in the States for any period of time, or?
No, other than visiting for 3 months last year, I actually went to a bilingual school.
Okay.
It's called Cambridge Bilingual School.
Okay.
It's all the way in David.
Okay.
And that's how I learned, basically.
Wow.
So how old were you when you learned English?
I started since kinder. They actually, I was thinking about that the other day. They gave us maths in English.
Really?
To like 7-year-olds. I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
How could I learn English, math in English? That's weird.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is weird. Okay.
Good school, good education.
All right.
Good
All
school.
right. Excellent.
So obviously you've had a steady consistency with higher education, with a bilingual school and learning things bilingual and math and English, and you just kind of continue that path with your education.
Yeah.
Are you going to go any further?
Oh yes, I just I'm doing I don't know how you say it, but it's kind of like a postgraduate. It's not a master's. It's the thing before the master's
Okay.
in research, because I want to go into research,
Mm-hmm.
because that's basically the thing that I really like.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That sounds very cool.
So research in
Just general. Right now, it's just general research. When
Okay.
I go into my master's degree, I will focus it on more like pharmacy, more like farm. How do I say that? In Spanish, it's pharmacogenética, which is kind of like the genes that make every individual have a
Yes.
different response
Okay,
to
DNA.
medication.
Pharmagenetics.
Pharma-
or-
Yeah,
genetics.
is that? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
See,
Yeah.
see. It's different here in Panama.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would imagine it's different in every country has different things.
Yeah.
But we have an aging population of expats,
Yeah.
and getting medicine here is in some ways a lot easier. In some ways it's trickier. If you there are special things, I guess, that are hard to get. I don't know. Can you talk about how different the rules are in this country as opposed to like the U.S. or Mexico, or what's easier to get, what's difficult to get?
So here in Panama, it's pretty easy to get medication, except for the ones regulated by MINSA that fall under the umbrella of narcotics, opioids, that kind of really controlled medication.
Right.
But other than that, it's pretty easy to find. For example, if you're a diabetic or you have hypertension or those kind of chronic illnesses,
Yes.
it's more easy to find that in other countries where you would need a prescription, which I think it's good and bad. It's good because people who are chronically ill don't have to spend that extra money on going into the doctor's office and paying for the attention and then having to go back to the pharmacy.
Right.
Because that's something that they take chronically and they have taken it for a long time, so they
Right.
just know what it is, which is good. But it's also bad because there's a lot of self-medication with that comes with that.
People
which is-
adjusting their own meds as they see fit.
Yeah, and it's for example, people that say, well, they just took a test and their cholesterol levels are kind of high, they will just self-medicate, I don't know, any statin or something that goes.
Oh,
and it's
no.
not really good. It's risky.
Yeah.
But other than that, well, when we talk about narcotics, they're pretty regulated in
Yes.
pharmacies. You'll find that you can't get, for example, benzodiazepines like alprazolam, clonazepam. You can't find them without a prescription.
Right.
They're very regulated and controlled by the law because of the dependence.
Those are
and
like
the-
Xanax and
Yeah,
Valium.
exactly,
That
Xanax,
family.
Valium.
Yeah.
You know, because of the addiction and dependence that comes with that.
Absolutely.
So those are regulated. They
Okay.
have to come in a prescription. Well, benzodiazepines can come in a normal prescription. The prescription has to be by a doctor with his or her registration number, the sign of the doctor, and also like a seal. Is that how you say it? A seal.
Yes, the
Yeah.
seal, the stamp.
The stamp that has the name, the you have to read it, the name of doctor, his register number, and all that stuff. And the data on the prescription also has to be complete. For example, the patient's name, his age, his passport or cedula number, and they don't really put sex anymore, but sometimes they put sex also. And basically that's what it has to have. A prescription for narcotics can only have the specific narcotic in the prescription. You can't put two medications there, only
Okay.
one.
Only one.
Yeah, they have
Okay.
to be in the generic form. For
Yeah.
example, you couldn't put Valium in a prescription. It has to be the generic name of the
Oh, of course.
medication.
Yeah.
And the signature that has the dose, the intake frequency, and all that stuff. Basically, the pharmacist, when we receive a prescription, we have to check that everything is complete. Check that, for example, for narcotics, the prescription is only valid for 5 days.
Okay.
So we
wow.
have to check that it hasn't expired.
Okay.
And we check that everything is okay, if everything is good to go, and the indications of the prescription match the amount, because they also has to have the written amount of pills.
Right.
Then everything is good to go. We're able to dispense it. You just have to sign it in the back, which means that you're the one receiving it, and we have
Okay.
and you're good to go. But we also keep track of what we do in our pharmacy.
Right.
We keep track of who we are dispensing our narcotics to.
Okay, that's
Okay.
good.
Because you can't have a person buy, for example, a month's worth of narcotics twice a month.
Oh, no, you cannot.
Cannot, so you have to keep track of who you're selling
Yeah.
it to. And that's really important because it's about assuring the well-being of our patients.
Right, right.
So do you have, I know it's a problem sometimes in the U.S. where people who are addicted to certain narcotics will bounce from doctor to doctor and get several prescriptions in a month, right? Is that a problem here also, or is this so regulated that you don't run into it that much?
I assume it's going to be a problem because the pharmacy keeps a book of all of the medication, all of the narcotics that we have, and we have to put in that book every prescription that we get and what comes in and what comes out of the pharmacy. And that is constantly inspected by Dirección Nacional de Farmacia y Droga, which is the national direction of drugs and pharmacies. That is the one that always inspects the pharmacy. So we're constantly being looked at. But I cannot, for example, see Revilla Boquete's book.
Right.
They cannot see my book.
Okay.
They don't know who's coming into my pharmacy. And that is a problem for our fellow doctors too, because they don't know. Maybe they are not prescribing the same medication for twice to a patient, but they don't know what his colleague is doing.
Right.
There's no way that we can,
I see.
know what's going on. So I think that could be a problem too. But as what we do is we try to do things right on our end.
Well, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
that's all you can expect.
That's kind of the most you can really do.
Yeah.
How do you, Larissa, how do you feel about, in the U.S., it's been in the news a lot, quite an opiate issue, opiate
Yes.
addiction, and this drug fentanyl has been killing a lot of people.
Yes.
And I don't know, I have no idea if they're getting a handle on any of that, at this point or not. How do you feel about the potential for that in this country, or just Central America in general?
It's very worrisome. It's very worrisome to me because at some point, well, opioids are a little bit harder to buy of pharmacies. I don't know what's going on in the streets. I hope that that's light years away from
Yeah.
here, but we can't be sure.
No.
No.
It does seem like it's less of an issue.
Yes.
I do have the impression, from talking to friends, I've been lucky. I've not had any injuries or maladies that require narcotics here, but I know people who have, and it seems like doctors are actually reticent to write prescriptions for narcotics. They'll go to like high strength ibuprofen or Tylenol or whatever first. Is that my perception, or is that a true thing?
I think that's true. I've heard a lot about, for example, people who have had surgery and they are prescribed opioids for a long time, because you can, the problem is not the opioid. The problem is the duration of the treatment.
Right.
The duration of the treatment that will make you physically and psychologically dependent to it.
Yeah.
So it's disturbing to see that in the U.S. they're prescribing strong opioids for long periods of time. And here in Panama, I don't think that's a lot of an issue. You'd have to have like 3 broken legs in order for a doctor to actually prescribe an opioid.
Unfortunately, that's what happened to our military. Is the guys would come back severely injured and become addicted to those things.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, a lot of times, eventually, those prescriptions run out, so they turn to street sellers.
Yes.
Used to call them pushers back in the day. That's quite an issue. I must say, though, if I had 3 legs, I probably would be clumsy enough to break all 3 of them at some point. That's fascinating, though. I mean, here's another question, and I've wondered about this. All right, the U.S., you go in your prescription, and they give you a bottle of drugs. Here, they give you blister packs.
Yes, they do.
Or they break them out of blister packs.
Yeah.
And you have boxes.
Yeah.
Boxes, yeah.
Why? Is that a drug manufacturer thing?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a U.S. thing. I've always wondered that too.
Yeah.
Like, why does the U.S. always get bottles? I see bottles, and here we get boxes. I have no idea.
Okay.
But the preservation of the medication
Yeah.
in the blisters is a lot more controlled.
Okay.
The blisters, they are completely sealed. So
Yes.
they keep they're much better preserved that way.
Yeah, that's true.
So the blisters are better.
That
Yeah, I think
That makes
that
sense. I remember one time I was taking something and I unscrewed it and I accidentally dropped it in the sink and all the pills turned blue and I knew that wasn't good.
Yeah.
So I went to the pharmacy and I said, "Can this be replaced?"
And did they?
Yeah, but they kind of lectured me about it.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, you gotta be careful with that. I have noticed that's a good point, because I have noticed some things like you get over the counter like sleep aid, right? And there's one that I think we got from, maybe it was PriceSmart or somewhere, I don't know. And they're little blue pills, and you open those up.
Yeah.
The first time everything's good. The second time you get one out and it just turns to mush in your fingers.
Yeah.
From the humidity?
From the humidity.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah.
maybe that's the answer.
Oh, that's good. Maybe
That's
that's the
good.
answer.
Maybe
Pam
that's
is,
the answer.
maybe we're too humid and it's better preserved that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Makes sense.
Okay, Bukete, tune in here for answers to all of your questions about mysteries.
The other thing I noticed about Panama is you can actually read the doctor's handwriting here.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think it's because maybe they have to stamp everything.
Uh-huh.
So they have to compare. Or maybe
Yeah.
that's intimidating to them. Because doctors in the U.S., you can't read their handwriting
No,
for
not a
anything.
bit. Not a bit. It was, Dr. Squiggle. Oh.
So I would lose to a U.S. pharmacist in a hieroglyphic reading contest. I would totally lose.
Yeah, definitely. It is fun and interesting just knowing the differences between our world, our former world,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Do you have, of your clientele, is it a mix, 50-50, expats and
Natives?
or
Well,
you have an idea?
at this point, I see a lot more expats than natives,
Uh-huh.
because our owners are expats,
Well,
so
yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I guess.
But there is a growing, clientele of natives, so that's
Yeah.
great.
That is good.
And it's we make great relationship with all of our clients. So
Yeah.
and despite some of them being native, so we get along pretty well. We try to do our best, because it's different to come into a place where you don't know the person, you don't feel the trust to actually tell them, what's going on. If you feel comfortable with your medication, if there's something that's bothering you, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make the person feel like they're not just coming into a place to buy something.
Right.
There has to be some interpersonal, not interpersonal, but kind of like there has to be a relationship where the person will trust us enough.
Right.
Because sometimes not saying that you're having a problem with adverse effect of a medication and you keep taking it, it's not good. Sometimes you have to suspend your medication with the advice of the pharmacist and the doctor, and try to find a better alternative. So basically, that's what helps us do our job better.
Okay.
Okay.
That's great. I
Yeah.
like that. A personal relationship is so much more comfortable than just walking into the Rexall. I had a great pharmacist in LA. Her name was Connie. And, if you're in a hurry,
Yeah.
that could be a difficult thing because first 10, 15 minutes is how are you? What do you feel? How's Gabrielle? How's we have a nice chat, and
Right.
I really liked her. She was one of the pharmacists that actually did not only save my life, but friends and family, because we all kind of went to the same place.
Right.
And she was very astute and is looking at these two different prescriptions and went, no, you cannot take those together. I have no memory now what they were, but
Right.
it was probably pain medicine or something.
Right.
I have a question for you. I might have to visit you.
Yeah.
I need a refill of albuterol. My rescue inhaler lasts 1 to 2 years.
I'm like that too.
and
yeah.
it finally ran
Died.
out. So I guess I got to go see you guys.
Yeah. Okay. No problem.
I don't. Since I moved to Panama, I don't have near the respiratory issues that I had living in Los Angeles.
Is it too cold over there?
It's too smoggy.
Oh.
And yes, in the wintertime at night now, this didn't used to happen. In the wintertime, it gets down in the low 40s, sometimes upper 30s. And that's a trigger for my asthma for sure.
Yeah.
But the smog, the congestion, all of that, I was on 2 different medications, and I went through an inhaler about once a month sometimes, rescue inhaler. Since I moved here, we've been here 7.5 years. I
Yeah.
quit taking one of the medications completely. The other one I take occasionally, but I don't. I think it's more of a crutch, maybe. I don't know. And every once in a while, I'll use my Ventolin inhaler. But I haven't had a real asthma attack in I don't know how many years. And definitely not here at all.
Yeah, that's great.
In fact, I survived the horses, the first cabalgata. I forgot I was allergic to horses
Oh.
because I hadn't been around one since I was a kid. And I went to the first cabalgata to take photographs, and I noticed my chest tightening and getting worse, and my eyes almost swollen shut. I had to walk home because I didn't have a car, and that was quite an issue, and I didn't have a rescue inhaler with me either, right?
That's not good.
I couldn't have done that, though. I don't think I'd even survived that if it were 5, 6, 7 years before living in
Yeah.
Los Angeles. So Boquete, very healthy, very good air.
Yes.
This is the cleanest
Great.
air I've ever breathed in my life.
It is.
So, yeah.
So that being said, where are you located?
We're located
Good one.
in the entrance that's next to Mercamax. Do people know Mercamax?
Yes, yes.
It's the next Chinese store that it's after Ferreteria Ivan, going in direction to David.
Okay.
You enter the street that's beside Mercamax, and you'll see the next corner at the right. You'll see Dr. Boya's clinic. You'll
Okay.
see the Farmacia, and you'll see Emolab. We have in the same block. We have lab, pharmacy, and the clinic.
Oh, cool.
And a
So
bunch
it's-
of ambulances.
Yeah. We also the Dr. Boya has ambulance services.
Oh, excellent,
Yes,
excellent.
yes.
And so if a person needs an ambulance, do they need to call his number specifically or?
Yeah, it's a specific number. Can you guys?
Yeah.
I don't have it. And
That's
I don't
okay.
have anything.
Well,
with
we
me.
can
find
You,
it.
yeah, we
you guys can
find
find it later.
Sure.
Yeah, that's Clínica Llave Rafa. They're also on Instagram and Facebook, so
Okay.
I'm sure people will find it.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, you can call them. It's a 24-hour service.
Do you know, either of you guys, if, like, for instance, I called Rodney direct, I have an issue, could he call the ambulance?
Oh, that's a good question. I have no idea.
Okay.
That
I'll bet he
that's
could.
it. Yeah.
Rodney direct they can do everything.
Yeah.
They're,
Well, the one time that I needed an ambulance, I think they called the clinic directly.
Okay.
Because that's the
Oh.
clinic I ended up at.
okay.
Oh,
okay.
great. Okay.
And how was that experience then?
The ambulance?
Yeah.
They don't strap you in the ambulance.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. So I
You
live
bump
in a
around a
very
little?
whiny, twisty
Oh,
road to get
yes,
to my
you
house
do.
and down. And so we're trying to start an IV, and I'm just bouncing around like ragdoll.
Uh-huh.
And finally, they stopped the ambulance to get the IV going.
Oh, that's nice.
And then we continue to go, and I'm still bouncing around. Finally, I said, "Can I ride up front with you guys?"
Did they let
They
you?
just laughed
No,
at me. They
no.
laughed all the way to the hospital.
Laughed and laughed. All right, guys, buy some straps, okay?
Yeah. You got to hold on for just.
Yeah, I'm sure they've fixed that by now.
So we know all about your wonderful career and your beautiful command of the English language, but we know nothing about you.
Yeah.
So you were born and raised here. Do you have a big family?
Well, it's just my mom, my sister, and I. But I recently moved out. I moved to
Oh,
Boquete. I moved
good.
here. I love it here. It's a lot more chill, a lot
Yeah.
more nice.
Yeah.
And you
And-
moved here from where?
I was living in David for a while. I was
Okay.
actually working at Hospital Chiriquí.
Oh, okay.
So I was living there, working there, and then when I was ready to move out, because my house, we had bought a house, me and my husband here,
Uh-huh.
and when I was ready to move out, well, the farmacia hired me.
Hey,
It
nice.
was kind of like sent from heaven because I had no idea how I was going to get from work to my house.
Right.
And then it's like 10 minutes from my house. And I
Awesome.
am so happy. I'm so comfortable in my job. I love my job.
Yeah, good,
Yeah.
good.
Excellent.
Sent from heaven, basically.
So
yeah.
which neighborhood are you living in now?
So I live now in Villa Los Altos de Boquete.
Yeah,
So
uh-huh.
it's before Boquete Canyon Village.
Oh, okay.
Like going to Caldera.
Okay.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, nice
Yeah,
neighborhood.
Nice neighborhood.
Yeah, very cool.
So you've been here how long?
About 3 months.
Okay.
So I'm new here.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
new here, but I love it.
Good.
I like it.
Excellent. Well, it is chill here,
Yeah.
figuratively and literally,
Yeah.
compared to David.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
It is.
So your sister, is she older than you, younger than you?
She's younger.
Okay.
She's 3 years younger.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is she up to?
Well, she's studying physiotherapy.
Oh,
Oh,
all
wow.
right.
She's almost finished with her grad school. So
Healthcare is kind of running in the family then,
right?
huh?
Yeah.
So
That's
your
cool.
parents, were they in healthcare, your mom or your dad?
They were actually like sales reps
Mm-hmm.
for drugs.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, so they work with laboratories and they would go to the pharmacies and do, sales rep.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, it kind of runs in the family.
You know,
Yes.
here's a kind of a strange question regarding that. In the U.S., I noticed that you're at the doctor's office and a sales rep from a pharmacy company comes in. 99% of the time, it's female, it's a woman who is dressed
To the nines.
To the nines, yeah, like it's cocktail date night or something. Is that a thing here too, or is it?
Here, the
I don't even know why.
figure that you're talking about here, it's called a medical visitor who is an actual licensed pharmacy most of the time.
Oh, okay.
And in the later years, they're kind of trying to making it a kind of like a law that you have to be a licensed pharmacist to be
Oh, that's
a medical
cool.
visitor.
Yeah.
They don't actually sell you stuff. Well, they kind of do, but not in the literal sense. They try to promote their specific
Product.
laboratories that they work at.
Okay.
So the doctor will prescribe them more.
Okay.
And
yeah.
it's kind of sales rep, but also it's about, reminding or educating the doctor a lot more about drugs because, pharmacists are the experts in drugs.
Yeah, yeah.
So they work hand in hand with the doctors
Okay.
and, they help them out. And that's a figure here. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. In the U.S., it feels like they're just salespeople. you know,
Yeah.
like-
Well, actually, I started watching this last night. On Netflix, there is a series called Painkillers.
oh yeah.
And it's a true story about how the one pharmacy, the one that's in the lawsuit right now, his name's totally escaping me,
Okay.
but started pushing the opioids.
Okay. Oh.
And they talk about the sales reps, and they did that quite intentionally because the pretty girls, and most doctors at that time were men.
Uh huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I see. It's all about the money.
Yeah, it's all about the money.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad we don't have that here.
No,
we have real
We
professionals.
have real professionals.
Hopefully
here.
not.
Yes. Giving out samples, and they do that there in the
Exactly.
U.S.
They
man.
they also do give out samples.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
To the pharmacists too, actually, but in some sense, it really helps not only the pharmacy but the clients because most of the times the free samples that come into the pharmacy,
Mhm.
they'll go to the clients. We'll try to give if we have free samples,
Yeah.
we don't take them all home. We try to give them to the
Oh,
clients because
cool.
they'll need it more than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll have like boxes and boxes of
Yeah.
free samples for what? Let's
Yeah.
just help the people that actually need them.
And sometimes people just don't have the money. I mean, found myself in a situation a few times. As an actor, you have to make a certain amount of money each quarter to keep your health insurance intact. And some years were great, some years not so much, right? And my doctor, I would go in and I'd tell them, I'm between gigs or whatever. Man, they'd load me up with samples, to tide me over.
Yeah.
And then once my insurance kicked back in, good to go, But that's a nice thing
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
nice
very
thing.
nice.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just goes to waste.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, fascinating. I've
We learned a lot again.
again, we do learn a lot here on this show.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of my favorite things about it.
Mm-hmm.
And meeting new people. And so when you're not busy, pharmacisting,
Yeah.
I like that.
what do you like to do in your free time?
I do CrossFit.
Oh, really?
I like CrossFit. Not CrossFit, kind of like cross training.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I study. I'm still studying. I'm still learning.
you're still
Yeah.
learning?
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine studying takes up a tremendous amount of time.
Yes.
Yes.
I did CrossFit once. Almost killed me. I think.
If you don't do it right, it
Yeah.
can kill you.
In fact, it was CrossFit
Yikes.
for people over 50 I was doing. It still almost killed me.
Jeez.
Like your shirt.
Oh, thanks. Yes, I just got a hold of this brand new, to me anyway.
That's great.
It's silk.
It's just, no one is going to hit you with their car at all.
That's what I was thinking. It's a safety shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's see, where were we? Oh, we were talking about you,
hobby.
yes.
Yeah.
So you cross-train, actually, as opposed to
It's-
CrossFit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
CrossFit has those kettlebells. Have you seen those?
Yeah, kettlebell.
Those are
I
horrible
avoid
things.
those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are instruments of torture
You
and
ever
death.
did kettlebell swing?
Yes.
Oh God,
oh
that's
my gosh.
horrible.
And the thing about CrossFit is after you do it, there is no way to avoid a nap afterwards. I mean, it
I would
takes
imagine you pass out. That's not
real
even a nap.
close, real close. Felt like it. I did it for, I guess, almost 6 months.
Really?
Yeah, and I kind of got in shape. I was, not quite as fat as I am now. But if I had the choice, do that again or stay fat, I'd probably stay fat. Sorry.
Well, you were younger then too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
so
little, yeah.
Your recovery ability was a little better.
It does slow down with age.
It does.
It does, yeah. And I'm sure you get quite a few clients, expat clients, who are of an
older
extended age, yes, older age.
And people who take a lot of drugs. For example, we call that polypharmacy. People who have a bunch of chronic conditions combined and they have to take a bunch of different medication.
Wow.
And that I also wanted to talk about that because we're implementing something. We want to do scheduling for our clients.
Oh.
Actual schedules. We'll take Monday, every day we'll take our schedule is like this. We'll divide it in 4, which would be your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and before going to sleep.
Okay.
And we'll try to, research, because we're still learning. We pharmacists are always studying and always learning.
Okay.
So if we get a client that takes a bunch of drugs, some drugs you can't take them together. You have to space them out during the day.
Right.
Some drugs, their bioavailability, which is the amount of drug that goes into the bloodstream, lowers if you take them with food or if you take them at certain hours of the day. So we try to basically organize the patient's or the client's drug intake schedule during the day to help them get the best out of their treatment. Because sometimes they'll feel like my blood sugar level is high all the time. And turns out they're taking their medication with another one or they're taking it in the wrong time. So it's not really working for them, not because the medication is not working, but because the hour is not correct.
Okay.
So that's another service that we're implementing.
Well, that's very important.
Yeah.
Can you or do you, sometimes medication will say take with food,
Yeah.
right? And the reason is it might cause you to be a little nauseous.
Yes.
But there may be other reasons, right? And so can you tell your clients why, the rule is there? Don't take this with food and why you should take this with, or don't take it with food?
Yes. Maybe in the moment, there's so many medications, sometimes we won't remember.
Yeah.
But there's always room to learn.
Yeah.
But most of the time, we'll try to give that. For example, when we do the labels, because when we get a prescription, we'll try to write down the instructions in a label. We'll probably put that there. Take
Okay.
with food.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
will know. Yeah.
I mean, the instructions are very important, and sometimes knowing why is very important too.
Yes.
Because I know myself and other people sometimes we'll take something we've taken before, said take with food, but I never got nauseous with it, so why should I? I'll just take it, you know? And if there's no other reason or rule, I'm going to go on my own and do what I think is okay. And maybe that's not a good idea.
Or you
Yeah.
could be like me, who's super lazy and doesn't think about my medication, so I just take it all at once in the morning.
Oh,
Forget
no.
about it.
Oh, no.
Let me do a schedule for you.
Yes.
Let me do the schedule for you.
You know those
Okay, you're on.
those pill containers that have the days of the week
Yes,
on them?
that's what I took to Wisconsin.
Maybe you need one of those, but also has the times of day.
The thing would be massive. It would just be
I know.
a comptometer.
You spend half of your Sunday organizing all your pills. Yeah. Well, it's.
I don't take that many pills.
Think of it as a hobby.
Take one in the morning.
Okay. Well, our good buddy Ron is he's battling a particularly nasty kind of cancer right now,
That's too bad.
and just to counteract he told us this the other day, to counteract the effects of the chemo and getting ready, they're going to do a bone marrow transplant. He has 50 drugs a day, 50 different drugs a day that he has to take. That is a lot of
Yes.
pills.
That's a lot.
That is an amazing amount.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
So does they have to kill off everything and make him totally?
Pretty much, he's going to be a bubble boy for a couple of
I was
weeks.
going to say a bubble person.
Yeah. He's going to be isolated and not.
He has a donor all lined up, though? They haven't found a comparable donor?
I guess so. I don't
that's
know. I don't have real details on
Okay.
that. But it's astonishing the amount of pills that sometimes people have to take depending on their condition, you know. And I know for some people, like for me, for example, lifestyle choices and changes can help reduce some of that, you know, quite a bit. And for some people, nothing they're going to do is going to change it. It's hereditary, it's genetic, or
Right.
whatever it is, you know. So those are, I think, important things to take in
Yeah,
all
yeah.
around.
Okay, well, I guess I'll have to come see you and get a schedule.
Yes, we both
I
have to
had a
trot
t-
over there.
Yeah.
We're not that far away. Also.
No, you're
you're
not. No, you're very conveniently
Yeah.
located. Yeah.
Great.
In fact, I drove by there twice yesterday.
See?
I had to get my car. I'm still getting my car registered. Now that is a complicated ordeal.
This has
Anyway,
been taking you months.
it started in April,
Yeah.
and next week hopefully will be the final.
Yeah.
But I had one other thing I wanted to ask about, but now I forgot. I do have to give a shout out. Gabrielle, I love you. You know. And again, Big Daddy's.
Yes, Big Daddy's.
Check out
Their specials.
their specials, their shrimp and their lobster. All right. Dos minutos. Their and the Wagyu beef coming soon.
Yes.
And like I said, Chris, samples. huh?
Exactly. We can wait even.
Yeah, we'll
wanna
wait
bring
here.
'em over.
Yeah. We've got a few minutes. No, Larissa has to get back to work very soon here.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes, thank you for, taking the time to come visit with us and actually close down the pharmacy so then you can come and educate us. This has been quite the education.
It has been. It has been. Oh, I remember the quick question. If I need to get more antidepressants, do I still need a prescription, or can I just?
It depends on which one it is.
Okay.
Because there are some, sometimes one medication is a narcotic, but they're used for other things.
Yeah.
They have different kind of.
The ones I've in the past were non-narcotic, but not that I'll need them anytime soon.
Okay.
Especially after the theater season's over.
Yes.
I won't need that.
Well, we're pretty, available because we also have a phone number where you can text us to WhatsApp.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I love that. Every business here, you can use WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And it's so cool.
You
It's
can
so
call us,
convenient.
WhatsApp us. We'll be there.
Okay, excellent.
You don't have to come all the way to the pharmacy if you don't have the time.
All right, great. Larissa, thank you so much
All
for
right.
being here.
Yes.
Thank you guys for having
You
me.
were delightful.
Thank you.
And guys, thanks for tuning in. Pam, thank you.
Patrick, thank you.
You're welcome, and my pleasure. It's the highlight of my weekend.
Yay.
Yes. Oh, except for tomorrow's
Yes,
show.
tomorrow's show.
Tune in to the BCP Radio Hour tomorrow at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Right here on 103.3 Radio Cherokee.